Hey, what's up, Gold?
How's it going, man?
About to see if we can whip this up really quick. I think I'm just gonna make this a new series where we just like find a random strategy off Google and then just build it, see if it's worth anything.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry, we're on Bluetooth, like triple ups for the two computers. I think you were talking and the stream was talking, but it was a delay of you talking, and I couldn't tell what was going on.
Oh, I was just saying. I think I'm gonna make this the start of a new series where we just find a strategy on Google and
Yeah,
then
okay, cool.
just kind of build it.
Working.
So, anyways, let's show us how we found
Yeah,
it. We go to Google and let's see. Type in this mean reversion strategy here on Google. And then right here is where we found it. Talks about it a lot, and then the end it finally gets into it. So basically, it uses a 200 EMA and a 10 period SMA and a 2 period RSI. So whenever the 2 period RSI goes below the 10 level, you go long. As long as price is below the 10 SMA and the 10 SMA is above the 200 EMA. And then
that makes sense.
you take off half your position whenever you touch the 10 SMA, and then you take off the rest whenever price
Okay.
closes above the 10 SMA. And this actually takes, they're doing it
Sorry, did you
here.
say it close half your position when you touch the SMA,
Yeah, close
and then
half,
the rest when you close above it, or
correct.
okay.
And then they're actually doing this on the daily chart. We're going to see about it maybe on some lower time frames. So let's go ahead and open up the builder.
Is there a way to stop NinjaTrader opening like every single feature it has every time you open it?
Yeah, you just gotta save a new workspace and save it as your default workspace.
Okay, let's see.
Let's name, let's name this Google MR. So MR for mean reversion. Let's go to conditions. So the first thing we need is the 10 SMA. So 10 period SMA, plot it on the chart, is greater than the 200 period EMA. So 10 SMA is greater than the 200 period EMA. And And then we have the 2-period RSI. Let's plot it on the chart. We're not going to use the average, we're using the actual RSI. So the 2-period RSI crosses below the 10 level. RSI 2 crosses below 10 level. And we also need to make sure that the price close is less than the 10-period SMA. Price close less than the 10-period SMA. That's our three conditions. When that occurs, I'm going to enter long. And then for now, instead of doing the two separate conditions for profit, we're just going to do close. Actually, to avoid pin bars, we'll do the high is greater than the 10-period SMA. Actually, that might cause some issues if the high is greater than the SMA when it activates a trigger. So instead, let's just do price close, cross above. We can always slightly adjust the target. Price close, cross above the 10-period SMA. We're going to exit our long position. Let's go ahead and compile that and see how it looks on the chart. I guess we'll go ahead and start it off on the daily.
I tried to do it real time for you, and I'm still fucking around trying to find the SMA on the first thing.
It's your first time trying to make something, I think.
You're like so quick at it. Like,
so let's do 1 day. We'll do beginning of 2022 to now. I gotta choose a strategy. It's Google MR. So Google MR 1. Okay, let's see what happens on the daily chart with these little basket of indexes. Looks horrendous. Let's first check it out on the chart, make sure it's doing it correctly. All right, so here's one bug right off the bat. It can right now potentially give us triggers when it's below the 200 EMA. So let's go back to our conditions. And we already said that price needs to be less than the 10 SMA. However, price needs to be greater than the 200 EMA. So close greater than 200 EMA. Let's go ahead and run it again. Oh, just like that, we're profitable now, but we're basically getting no signals. And that's because basically the whole year of 2022 on the daily chart, the 10 period SMA was beneath the 200 EMA. So let's just give it some more data right quick. Let's give it like 3 years. Okay. So now we can see what's going on over here. You can see overall, we're definitely not profitable, but let's make sure it's operating correctly. So here the 10 SMA is above the EMA. Here the RSI crosses beneath the 10 level. This blue line here is the 30, but we're using the 10. So this candle, it crosses below the 10. We go long and we exit it here. So that's a winning trade. Winning trade here. Winning trade here. Looks like we have an awkward scenario right here. So price closed beneath the EMA, but then the following open was actually above it. That's just something that might happen on the daily charts every now and then. So we can definitely see that the win rate is pretty good. You can see on the percent profitable, it's like our highest is on EMD. Whereas on NQ is not very long. Regardless, sample size is pretty small since we're on the daily chart. So let's go ahead and move down. Let's go to the 60 minute, and we're gonna shorten up the testing period some. So getting a bit more trades. Yeah, 1,300 total. Let's see how it looks on ES. So here's a perfect example. 10 is above the 200. We cross below the 10 on the RSI. Take profit on the move back up. Check out the win rates. You see we kind of lower the time frame, and now our win, looks like our average win rate seems to be about 70%.
Just a quick question. Is this buying at the close? Is it getting in at the close and getting out at the closes?
Yeah, this is only operating on close.
Okay. So like that one there, where you bought in and then it was a huge red candle. That's not a great example. Like to the right a bit on around January 31st, or
Let me see what you're talking about.
like the last one, around January 31st, it bought there at the close and then tried to get it at the close of the red one, and it's way lower than close of the entry.
You're lagging some, so it's kind of hard to see which one you're talking about. I'll let
Yeah,
the
sorry.
screen kind of.
It's the one that's on literally the 31st of Jan.
Okay, so yeah, on the 31st, the candle below it right here. Yeah, it's always going to enter in on a red candle since we're entering whenever the RSI crosses below the 10.
Mm.
And so here on this red candle, it crossed below the 10 on the RSI, and then we enter on the following open. That's why it's showing
Okay.
we open right here,
Okay.
because it can't, it has to wait for the close, and then we enter on the following open.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So that's
this,
why it's the next candle.
yeah, and that's how it's going to be on all
Okay.
of them. And this is an open-ended, it's an open-ended stop loss, which is generally how mean reversion strategies are to keep the win rate high, because the general premise is, that it'll revert back to the mean, and so that's all we're looking for. So in a lot of scenarios, we'll be in the negative, but then it'll cross back above the mean. So you run the strategy with like significant sample size, and then you assess the potential drawdowns. And if it's too big, then you just don't run it. So before we look at any more analysis, let's look at some different time frames. So right now, we're at negative 39,000 on the 1 hour. Let's check out the 30 minutes. How did the 30 minute give us less trades than the 60 minute? No, it didn't. I'm looking at the wrong thing. But we do get better results on the 30 minute chart. We're only at negative 384 bucks. Let us check out the 15 minutes. Wow, that's actually really surprising. Like really profitable on the 15-minute charts with about 5,000 trades total. Let me look at these equity curves real quick. Yeah, so pretty horrendous equity curve there. Cool. So we're gonna look at some more time frames. 15 minutes, definitely doing pretty well, so I might come back to that one. We'll check out the 10 minutes. I definitely don't expect it to just get better and better. The lower we go, 15 minutes probably going to be where it's at. So 10 minute, you got worse results than the 15. Now let's drop down to more of an intraday level on the 5-minute charts. So not very good. Let me just look at the hour of day analysis. Yeah, so it's nothing too good going on. It's just not, the moves aren't big enough on the lower time frames for this type of mean reversion strategy. So we're going to go back to the 15 minutes. So here we are looking at the hour of day.
Do you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to test. By the way, Akotic, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to tell you that I finally got the profit factor to increase by filtering the trades depending on the entry time. So the more I move towards the middle of the day, the more the shorting positions seems to become profitable. So with that being said, man, you can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. We can definitely talk about it more. When
Okay,
whenever I'm not doing like this little stream
okay,
type deal. But yeah, though that's cool.
okay. Yeah, man. I'm happy.
So, so yeah, it seems like here the win rates are being pretty consistent, which is kind of what you want to see with mean reversion. Performance isn't all that good. You want to see, as far as the equity curve goes, you want to see a little bit more stability. Let me check out. Where is it at? Cumulative. See when that took place. 4/14. 22. Looks like 6 a.m. is just the worst hour for most of these indexes. Let's see. Let's run it on. I'm gonna run it on the metals. Let's see how it does on the metals. Doesn't really do any good on the metals. What about a few of the grains? And no good on the grains. So yeah, I might want to potentially look into taking out that 6 a.m. hour. So the 200 EMA is acting as a filter here. And what I'm curious about is if it is actually helping or not. So we see our current results with it being above. First thing I want to do is just see what happens if we take away the 200 EMA. And make sure, because we're using it in two places. So we'll say that the 10 SMA needs to be less than the 200. And then the close needs to be less than the 200. cross below the 2, cross below the 10. Closes less than the 10. Okay, that's all I need really. So 2-period RSI crosses below the 10. And the close is less than the 10. Basically just removing the 200 EMA part of it, which will probably give us way more trades. Let me go back up to, let's do the 4-hour. So I didn't test the 4-hour. So pretty good results here on the 4-hour. I need to plot that SMA. The reason why I removed the 200 EMA is because really it shouldn't, since we're using such a tight mean, it shouldn't really matter if that means above 200 EMA or above. This price should fluctuate around its mean, regardless where it's at. So the 10 SMA is a very, it's a very tight mean. So doing pretty good here on the. So here's an example. So that maybe here we're in like a downtrend, but price is still going to be moving above its mean and back down. So it doesn't really matter where we're at. Of course, the drawdown is kind of too high. Win rates aren't looking too good. Let's move to the 2-hour. Got 64 on 37. Let's go to the 1-hour. $84 and 25. Let's do the 20 minutes. Would like to see a drawdown under 20,000. Talk about a super consistent win rate. I mean, just 67% on the money on every single product. And we got 8,000 trades total.
Do you see that often? Like how consistent that actually is? It's within like 10 of a tenth of a percent, basically, or something ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not the first time that I've seen it, but it's nice to know.
It's not common. Sure.
Let's see. Let's look at the. At 78 on 29. Let's look at the 15 minutes. Looks like I've dropped too low now at this point. $79 on 27. Because the win rates were really consistent when we did have the 200 EMA. It was I think it was like 70, like 69, 70% win rate over a large sample size. Whereas now it looks like it dropped maybe by like 1% or 2%. But we're pretty interesting how we're getting like the same net profit on like a lot of different time frames. Let's look back at the chart. See if there's any correlation with the hour of day. It's very scattered. It's like midday isn't that good. Check out some entries. Let's add a input. Call it MA1, set it to 10. I'm going to assign it to the SMA. I just want to do a slight optimization. We're going to do 5 to 20 in increments of 5. See how that affects different time frames. Just out of curiosity. So we'll do the 4-hour chart. So much better results now on the 4-hour. You see it shows a higher period and our win rate drops. But since we're going for a larger target, because our mean is farther away, we got better results. Oh, but I didn't aggregate. Made a boo-boo. I'm gonna make sure we aggregate, and we can run that again. Okay, so aggregated now, it shows the 5. We have the less profits, but less drawdown as well. See those equity curves are looking a little more stable maybe. ES looking a little more stable. Let's check out the 2-hour. A lot more profits. Stable curve on the YM. RTY looking stable. NQ, don't know what the hell's going on. This is it choosing the 15 period. How about the 1-hour? One hour, no good. 120. I'm just not seeing anything that's really impressive just yet. What was it, 240? Alright, last thing I'm going to try. Of course, there's countless ways you can try to adjust the strategy. But I'm going to look at relative volume just real quick. So we're going to say relative volume. Is greater than the accumulated ratio. Just going to use it on the current time frame. So let's go and look at the relative volume of that specific candle at time of entry. And see if that can perhaps boost our win rate some or decrease our drawdown. So no good on the 4 hour. You can see what it looks like on this entry here. You can see that the relative volume is above this, what looks like a moving average. It was above it here. Now we'll go to the 120. I think that's probably our best results yet, by a pretty small margin though. But still nothing with a ratio of at least 10 to 1 on the P&L to drawdown. Very stable curve on the EMD. Let's do the 15-minute. Let's do less. Relative volume is lower than the ratio. Perhaps mean reversion works better when relative volume is low. Got our lowest drawdown yet, but not many trades here. I'm looking to be a little too constrictive with the relative volume in this case. All right, let's look at the relative volume of specific days of the week. So relative volume. Yeah, so I'm kind of seeing a pattern here. Let's look at relative range, basically relative volatility. Relative volatility is greater than the average. I didn't plot it on the chart. But it pretty much just looks the same as the other one. So I can run that again. So yeah, you can see the relative volatility at the bottom. Here it looks at the bar itself. Is it above the moving average? I think this is our best results yet. 148 on 21. But once again, by a pretty small margin. Let's go ahead and do, say the relative volatility needs to be less than the average. Just seeing if initially, relative volume and relative volatility, if that really affects this strategy for reverting to the mean, reverting back to the 10-period SMA. Looks like seeing if it's less is also too restrictive. Alright, so added the 200 back on, because previously we didn't test different lengths for the smaller moving average. And I think our win rate was like 2% higher with the moving average, with the 200 moving average. So let's just see. Need to make sure that I did it correctly. Pretty sure I did. Here we are, we're above the 200. Let me just take away that exit session close, because that's kind of messing up the system. But yeah, it does seem to be operating correctly. Let's go ahead and check out the 120. $90 on 14. That's almost with a 10-to-1 ratio. Almost. Will the 15-minute do it? It will not. Maybe the 10-minute. I think it's at 20 minutes is what it had. When did that happen? Was I seeing things? 90 on 14? Oh no, I'm not seeing things. Let's look at those equity curves. Pretty stable on YM. RTY, so-so, NQ, terrible. EMD. So this is with it on 5 on the 20-minute. Let's just test across the larger baskets. See what it looks like. On this goal, do y'all have any ideas that you want to try out that you think might improve the win rate?
Well, filtering by time, I just tried this and it's working fine. Like maybe the overall results might be better.
What are you
or
What are you referring to now? I'm just referring to this strategy that we're working on the live stream.
yeah. The mine. You are referring to mine.
Say it again.
What
The
what
strategy in the
strategy?
live stream that he's
So
doing in the live stream.
so he's talking about the strategy in the live stream.
Yeah.
Correct. The strategy on the live stream. Do you have any ideas for potential improvements?
To be honest, man, for now I don't because I was doing my prayers and I was listening to you at the same time, and I like I'm not 100% invested in the process that you are doing, guys, right now. So
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious if you had any ideas.
because I'm planning to rewatch the whole thing when I'm going like in 2 hours when I'm going to bed. I'm planning to have some time to rewatch it. So right now I'm just doing like daily stuff and listening to you at the same time. So I'm not really focused.
I
So I
got you.
can't help.
So, Gold,
Yeah.
do you have any ideas for a potential filter before we can wrap up?
For a potential filter, or
Yeah, for a filter to improve our win rate. I mean, unless you just want to try a different trigger, but that kind of takes away. The trigger is very simple. We're just below
yeah,
a mean, looking to revert back to the mean.
yeah, it's above the 200 EMA and below the 5 at this point. That's when you get an entry.
Yeah, the 5 is above the 200, and then the 2-period
And
RSI.
closes below the 5. The RSI as well, yeah.
But yeah, the 2-period RSI is the trigger. It's whenever the 2-period RSI crosses below the 10 line into long back to the 5.
Okay.
Over the whole basket, we got I mean, it's profitable over the entire basket. 189 on 12,000.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's not just terrible. It's like heating oil.
I'm
Go ahead.
trying to think, like, the whole thing of the strategy. We're trying to. It's very temporary moments in time. I mean, is there any pattern to when this is occurring, or like it's happening in trends, right? Or is it just random times at any time kind of thing? Like, is it happening in the middle of a move or at the edges of moves,
It's just
before
anytime
the move starts?
it's just any time that it occurs.
Can
24/7.
you
Yeah,
open
it's just
the builder?
scattered everywhere.
Yep.
Akotic, please, can you open the builder? I just want to see the strategy because I know that it's RSI and but I don't have the full picture about the strategy. Can I check it on the builder or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be easier if I just explain it to you. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's just the 5-period moving average is greater than the 200-period moving average.
Okay.
Then, when the RSI crosses below the 10 line
Okay.
and price is below the 10-period moving average,
Okay.
we go long and exit when price crosses back above the 10-period moving average.
What if you delay the exit?
Add like 2 bars under under the 10 level of RSI instead of 1 bar.
Say it again now.
2 bars under 10 RSI instead of 1 bar.
I don't get what you're saying. Do you understand what you're saying, Gold?
I think he's asking, is there 2 bars under the RSI instead of 1 bar? Is that correct in this? Or?
Yeah. So it's instead of using 1 bar, you can use 2 bars, like as a condition,
Oh,
like the
I
current
think he's
bar and
saying, like, instead of the first bar, just like delay it by another bar,
no,
the entry? Or
no, the bar, the current bar and the bar before, both should be under RSI, under chain RSI. Oh,
Yeah, I see
the
what
it's an
current.
entry condition.
I see what you're saying. Let me look at the charts.
It seems like the times it's not working out. It's just price drifting really like slowly.
Well, yeah, price is just being pretty efficient. That's just the enemy of mean reversion, and price is being efficient. It's
Yeah,
constantly moving in the same direction.
yeah. So is there a way to filter when it's sufficient? Like if the market's efficient, don't take the trades. Is that something we could possibly do? Or?
I mean, yeah, that's a good idea, but any indicator that would tell you that would just be lagging. When it actually
Okay,
because
it's got to be leading. Or...
because what we want is want to enter and then hope that we're not going to be efficient, knowing that price was inefficient in the past doesn't really help us moving forward. Normally, hour of day analysis would kind of give us some better insight.
But it seems like the trades are just scattered, like everywhere, anywhere.
Yeah, I'm curious if I run it on a much lower. Well, no, it can only go so low with this type of strategy because the moves aren't big enough on the lower time frames.
What about the having 2 bars under the RSI chain? Do you think it's a good idea?
I mean, I don't really think it's gonna affect very much.
Okay.
Because it is
Yeah.
already like a 2-period RSI.
Okay.
It's just getting us in on any tiny little pullback, as long as price is below the 5-period moving average.
Oh, hang on. Try changing the moving average. What's the moving average set to? The close?
Yeah.
Try it on the highs, because that should give you. I mean, that'll get you probably into more trades. This is long only, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah. So try change the SMA to the highs, because that theoretically should give you more trades. But I don't know if that's what you want.
Oh,
See stuff go.
I just want better results. That's all I want. So let's look at where we're at. Let's see, aggregate, max net profits. So so we got 90. And I'll change it. Just want to take a screenshot of this. So for the 10-period SMA.
Akotic, I just want to tell you a little trick. You probably know it already. So because the time filter on NinjaTrader doesn't allow the combined results to be filtered. So I think adding 2 conditions on the entry and testing like 2 hours windows for entry can like give you, but you are not using a lot of assets, so it's not really worth it. You don't understand, man. I have this impression that you don't understand a thing from what I'm saying.
Well, one, are you talking about the strategy you're working on?
Yeah. No, not mine, yours.
So the one
Just
we're working on the video. We're,
yeah.
we're not doing any type of time filtering right now.
Okay. You don't prefer doing that at the beginning. Okay.
No, we looked at time of day analysis and there wasn't any correlation as of right now. There was just basically randomized.
Okay.
Whereas I need to see a lot of correlation in time of day analysis to merit using it.
Yeah, I see, man.
Let's look at, we're going to change it to the high. So let's see, let's make sure. MA1 high, high, and high.
I mean, the thinking behind it is, it'll for the entry, it'll get you into more trades because the SMA will be higher, so it's a higher chance that it's going to close lower if it's higher, and then for the exit, if it's higher, it should get you out at a later price theoretically because it's just a little bit more. That makes sense. Like it may not be a lot, but that's
Yeah.
the theory.
It
May
makes sense.
completely be incorrect.
More special, but like a huge increase, man. One to
Sorry, bro.
like there is. Oh, sorry. Like I saw a 1.35 profit factor.
I'm looking at P&L to drawdown right now.
Is it just trash?
Always Gold said has improved the strategy.
Nope, it did not improve, but we will try the low.
Yeah, the low is
And
Does it look like it's exiting later by any chance? Because if you set the low, theoretically, like if you set the low to for the entry, it'll be more restrictive on trades on entries. But if you set the high for the exit, that should theoretically get you a little bit later at a higher price. I mean, it's theory, but
I tested it using the high and it gave worse results, so we're just going to try out the low.
yeah.
I tried it on the 10 minutes.
the logic is kind of tricky to understand, but what's going to change?
Well, it's like if you have massive candles in this and you're plotting, if you're plotting the highs, it's going to take every high for each candle and work out the average. If you take the low versus the low, if you take the low, it's going to work out the average of the low. But if the distance on average between the high and the low on a set of candles, like let's just say they're all the same size in an uptrend, if it's like 5 points or whatever, you're going to have a 5 point difference in the height of the SMA, quote unquote.
Okay.
Makes
To be
sense.
honest, man,
Just doing
not very much for now.
Pull up
So
a chart and set the SMA to high, and then set it to low, and you'll see the difference. Like have two SMAs, one on the high and one on the low, and you'll see the difference.
yeah,
Just test it
I'm
on the chart.
convinced. Yeah, it's the idea is it's amazing, but I'm just like I'm very trying to understand, man. It's a little bit too complex for me right now.
you've got really little candles. Some of these candles are quite small. If you're offsetting essentially where the SMA is, then you're either potentially entering earlier or later. The SMA isn't changing; it's just where the SMA is positioned in the chart relative to actual price.
Yeah. So if it's a high, if the SMA is based on highs, so we are going to enter
Theoretically, get in earlier. What is the
early.
chance that you get in earlier? If it's lower, it's more difficult for the condition to be met to enter.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's just theoretical, but
Why not to like to make it like to use the low for the entry and the high for the exit? Like, oh no, yeah, we use
that's what I
the
suggested. But I think, Akotic, you're just doing lows, right?
yeah. I think he's doing it.
Tested the lows out, was no good. Gonna do. I'm just gonna look to optimize the 200 EMA, so the bottom EMA, and so basically it's gonna be overfit, and so I'm gonna just give it an out of sample test, see if it does good once we optimize the higher EMA. So let us do, that's 5 to 20. We'll do 50 to 200 increments of.
I mean, have you tried just,
Um,
like, it sounds mad, but have you tried just scrapping 200 EMA, like, at all? Like, just to see, like, get rid of it altogether, see what happens?
Yes, that's what I did first.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I just want to get something with a P&L to draw down of 10. And then see if that holds up.
no.
Because I am about tired of this strategy. Google did not come in clutch, at least for this one.
Why Google is in it?
So
I
what?
don't think you were here at the very beginning of this. We just pulled the strategy from Google, or Akotic pulled them, so let's just try
We're
it and see.
looking.
We can recreate it, and I think it's going to be like a video series. Said.
I think the strategy is good. Why you choose it to give it to Google as a name?
Gold, help me out.
Because okay, so in this, what happened is at the very start of the stream, went on Google and looked at mean reversion, found a strategy, tried to recreate it in the builder, to see if it works good. Just as a Google recommendation, like it's just a blog, like saying, hey, this is a system. We pulled that, recreated it, and it's just called Google because we found it in Google.
Strategy was on Google. This
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it was just on a random website,
The
like
exact same
mystrategies.com or whatever.
the exact same strategy. Like you
Yeah,
didn't guys
yeah.
change it.
It's just to try it. Like,
Oh,
that's why it's called Google.
well, amazing.
All right, guys.
You have
I'm,
you have
we gave this strategy, tested a lot of variations of it, a lot of different time frames. Gonna go to end this one. I'm gonna start a different video. We're gonna look to find a different mean reversion strategy on Google. We're gonna make that one
no.
and see how we're going. See
When
how that
no?
one goes.
When are you guys going to start another?
About to do it very soon. Let me go ahead and wrap this one up. Let me end the stream.
Yeah, I just need like 10 to 20 minutes, like to do some